We're back in the parks today to update you guys on what's happening around the Disneyland Resort. We're going to visit every land. We're going to visit every attraction. We're going to show you the crowds. We're going to show you the queues. And we're going to talk about what's new at the Disneyland Resort. It's our State of Disneyland report. Since our last report, which was in the height of summer, mid-August, we are now mid-September, which means the Halloween season has arrived at Disneyland to everyone's thrill and excitement. I love the Halloween season, as do a lot of you, and it's showing up in the park for sure. Right, I hypothesized that in our last State of Disneyland report. It was really quiet, really slow. Parks were not busy at all, pretty much throughout the entire summer, which is kind of shocking by itself. But it was a lead story, as it were. But I thought maybe that the crowds would show up here, during the Halloween season, because that's something that locals do. They like to celebrate big events. They like to celebrate the seasons, that kind of thing. And sure enough, as soon as they flipped that switch to September 1st, everything just changed. It's gotten, pretty busy, pretty darn busy here in the parks. And even still, we're now, 20 days into the Halloween season, and there has not been much of a reduction in the crowd sizes and in the energy and the enthusiasm. Things are really happening here at the Disney Resort. And how long has it been since you've seen a crowd like this on Main Street Disneyland? It's been a while. I even remarked on Twitter a couple weeks ago. I showed up for an evening trip to Disneyland to get some night footage or something like that. I can't remember the occasion. Got here at like 7 o'clock. The Toy Story parking lot was packed. It took forever just to park. It took forever to get inside the park. The lines were long outside the gate. It was incredibly busy, and all of that due in large part to the Halloween season. And of course it is showing up on the reservation calendar as well for Magic Keys. Let's take a look at the Inspire Key. We haven't seen this scenario again in a little while. We went through almost the entire summer without having to worry about reservations, but we're back on the clock. We're back worrying about reservations again. 3 days out of the next 11 are booked out, through September, the end of September. Just a Tuesday, Wednesday, and a Thursday. Every other day, including, all the immediate days. They're not even making it easy to get. It was the case for a while that they were holding reservations back and then releasing them the night before, let's say, because they weren't selling enough tickets, single day tickets, let's say. So they set aside some of those bucket spots. They said, okay, we'll let those Magic Keys have some more dates here on the night before or the day of. You can't get in today. And I've had a very difficult time getting reservations as of late. Hi guys. I mean, I've managed to get what I need, but I've had to work really, really hard at it. Back in the old days of having to constantly refresh the calendar and hope for that it flips, because that's what you're hoping for, is that it's flipping and that people cancel and you pick one up. So that's what we're back at today. And what's interesting is that if you go into October, it's still kind of bad, but it's not so bad. The Saturdays are kind of available, and I think it's one Saturday and one Sunday that are booked out already, probably for specific reasons. So it's just the near-term dates, which is the opposite of how things were when it was super busy back in the day, in the sense that it was always the weekends that were getting grabbed, but the weekdays were available. But there's a reason for that, and that is because we've had a brief situation here in September where Enchant and Imagine Keys were not blocked out. They were eligible for weekend bookings, but that period is starting to pass. I think this coming weekend it's not available to to Imagine or Enchant. And that is the case in October. Enchant and Imagine are blocked out. So they're not able to get those weekend reservations in advance like they could in the past. So that's making more available for Inspire and Believe. So again, Disney is using that to their advantage by making it, pushing people into other dates, and thus the weekdays, as has been the case for a very long time now, the weekends are becoming the busier days of the week. Weekends less so. Sunday is the new Monday. Monday is the new Saturday. Wild, right? Wild. As we begin our journey through the park, every land, every attraction, allow me to update you guys that it is about noon on a Wednesday. It feels like a weekend, doesn't it? I've been feeling like it's a Saturday or a Sunday all day today. But this is noon on a Wednesday. Wonder what the narrative is going to be. I'm expecting it to be busy. I'm expecting to see full crowds wherever we go, lots of choke points. Wait times probably in the higher end of the spectrum, not bonkers crazy, but still higher end of the spectrum. I mean, it does feel already. Oh God, it smells so good. How many times have I said this in a State of Disneyland report? Coming through Adventureland, talking about how good it smells. Jungle Cruise is closed, so we will not be able to begin our update with a status report on a queue. Our first, it is a status report that the Jungle Cruise is closed and that's kind of rare actually. Jungle Cruise is traditionally a very dependable ride, but closed it is. Guests are still hanging out. Can you imagine waiting for Jungle Cruise to open? You gotta really love Jungle Cruise to do that. Meanwhile, right next door, Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Forbidden Eye, hey guys, is its usual 60 minutes. So that's what I'm talking about. That's the high end of the spectrum. We'll come through here sometimes. It's maybe, it's never slow. It's never like, 20 or 30 minutes, but it's, that would be the super low end. But you will often see it in the 45 range. But today it's at 60. Let's go take a peek at this standby queue real quick. I was actually expecting worse. That's not terrible. There's a few open rows here. It must be a lightning lane situation. Guests are checking in with their lightning lanes. But I don't actually see anybody walking up. I see, okay, there's one right there. Huh, that's not 60 minutes. That's probably closer to 45. But it's posted at 60. By the way, I rope dropped this morning as part of another video that I'm doing for a different channel. And I got to see some, well actually, look. That's what I got to see this morning when I was walking through the queue. There was a lot of whooping and hollering, but they're actually fabricating bamboo right now.
Fabulous line information keepers.
Look at that, busy at work up there, fabricating that bamboo. There's a guy here, there's another one right there to the left of him. Disney has said only that it's going to be in the fall, but I'm still hanging on to hope that it's early fall, that it's October. And I've heard a couple of whispers that that's about the neighborhood, but when I look at where they're at, I'm like, how can that be? There's no way they could be done in, what do we got, 10 days till October now? That seems like they're pushing it. Ooh, there's more work. Yeah, he is also fabricating bamboo, the railings for the staircase. What are the odds that we're left, I don't know, I don't want to say disappointed, but let down after 2 years? It's going to have taken them to build this thing, 2 years to update it. Is it possible? Is it even possible for it to live up to that kind of build up? We've been talking about it and studying this thing for that long. I've been talking about the treehouse for 2 years. What could they possibly do that could rise to that amount of height? The good news is, personally, I don't care. I just love the Swiss Family theme. I love that theme as opposed to the Tarzan theme, so I'm ready for whatever they give us. I'm prepared. This is, okay, I mean, guys, look. You can hear it. Do you hear it? Hey, how are you? Besides the fresh bake. Do you hear the buzz of the crowd? Somebody's got a pirate flag up there. Okay, when's the last time we saw pirates even at 30 minutes? during one of these State of Disneyland reports. It's been a very long time, and that's what that is. That guy, that's the back of the line up there, the pirate flag. That's great. That is the coolest thing that I've seen them do here at Pirates in a very long time. I love it. I hope that that's a permanent thing. It is very crowded right here, you guys. I'm feeling it a little bit. I'm feeling the pressure. That's so great. Yo-ho! I love it. Yeah, we haven't seen them run the queue out here in a very long time. Wednesday at noon. If you were to ask me today, what's the slowest weekday? I would have predicted Wednesday. It's right in the middle of the week. Nobody's on vacation. Wednesday should be the slowest weekday. And we're going to cruise right in front of Tiana's house. I'm going to update you guys on that in a second when I come back around. You know what? I take that back. Let's talk about Tiana's right now. Because she's been open for just shy of 2 weeks. And there was, again, a lot of hype when that first opened. And the queue to get in there was enormous. And they had sold out of mobile orders by 8 o'clock on that day. And I've been hearing, it's mid-afternoon that they're sold out now. As a matter of fact, let me go look real quick. And there you go. That tells you the story. And this queue reconciles with that. I don't know how long it's been sold out, but it is. Mobile orders closed right now. Is this one queue or is that a switchback? I think that's one queue. And the other guests are posted. I want to say that's probably the back of the queue right here. And everybody else is posted. So 10 days or so into the reopening, and Tiana's is still pulling a lot of guests, a lot of excitement, enthusiasm. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that the food is really good. The food is really, really good. I'm just happy with everything that I ate. And they deserve the attention that it's getting right now. They did a really good job with Tiana's Palace. We're going to come back around the backside as we go through Royal Street. Cafe Orleans, full as full. This is one of those times where my expectations are being met with reality. They are in agreement. This is the Jack and Sally meetup right here. I think I mentioned this in a getting ready for Halloween type video that don't try to wait for the right time to meet Jack and Sally. If you want to meet them, just get in that queue. Just get in whatever queue you feel like getting into because there's no breaks, there's no bargains, there's no shortcuts. It is what it is. But back there somewhere is Jack. Let's take a peek. Can we see Jack? There he is. Oh, Jack and Sally. Is that a new? I think he's got a new mask. New and improved Jack's mask. Wow, 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 wow. When's the last time? Guys, it has been a minute since I have felt this. Throughout, you can find moments where it's like this, but not consistent like it is. Blue Bayou is all jammed up. It is noon, time to eat. My instincts are telling me to run right now. This is one of those situations where like, abort the mission, get the heck out of here. But I actually, that feels like it should be, but I like this. I like seeing the park busy, because I like seeing people enjoying themselves, and I like seeing Disney be successful and everybody having fun. So it makes me happy when it gets this busy. Backside of Tiana's Palace, and the Mint Julep Bar queue looks like it's kind of doing its job. People need to fill in all available space, but because it's starting to poke out a little bit. But they put in this permanent queue as opposed to using ropes so that the queue doesn't run out into the alley here. I guess this is still Royal Street, which it would do all the time, and it would get in the way of crowds trying to pass through the backside of New Orleans Square. So it's doing its job, but look at that. As we just rolled up, it's starting to, well, I wonder if I just hung out here for a minute, how long it would take. Mobile orders sold out, obviously, for Tiana's Palace, but the Mint Julep Bar's not. I think it's a 45-minute wait right now for the Mint Julep Bar. Plan ahead. Just get on the mobile order, get your Mint Julep, get your beignets or whatever on mobile. There's no waiting. There's no waiting to pick up a mobile order. All that you're seeing there is all standby. Get mobile order. And it looks like the crowd went down just a little bit. Fill in all available space. I just love this. Train just rolled in. You really feel like you're at Disneyland. When the crowds are here, that's what's part of going to Disneyland is encountering all of this while you're here. You know, it's like, I kind of don't, when it's super slow, I kind of don't like it, you know, because I mean, yeah, you get a lot of rides in, but that's not really why I'm here anyway. And maybe I'm a different animal, maybe I'm cut different, you know, in terms of, you know, why I come to the park, but I'm here for the vibe, and the people are part of the vibe. The guests are part of the vibe. You know, I'm not here just to knock out a bunch of attractions and go home. And I would hope that that's some of you, at least some part of you also. And if it isn't, try to incorporate some of that into your day if you can. Try to incorporate just walking around and being a sponge. You can see off in the distance over there, the Mark Twain is docked. It's closed for now. Meanwhile, the Haunted Mansion Holiday is 60. It's about right. I haven't yet walked by the Lightning Lane queue, so I don't know how that compares, but that's, you're going to be here a minute. 60 minutes is, again, the high end of the spectrum. Predictions are holding true so far. High end of the spectrum. I was talking about the Mark Twain a minute ago. You can see it's behind Scrim. It is closed. It's also the reason why the secret path is closed. We'll talk about it in the construction report, but people were worried for me that I might be panicked. I'm on a constant vigilant watch to find out what the status is of the secret path vis-a-vis the construction that they're doing on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and I wanted to survive. People were worried about they're doing a wellness check on me because they saw the walls are up at the secret path. They're like, oh my God, is David okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I knew as soon as I saw the door and I saw the walls, I'm like, that's not because they're closing the secret path. I mean, I suppose it could be. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. It's because of the Mark Twain. They're working on the Mark Twain in the dock. That's why they got Scrim up, and that's why they're closing so people can't see what they're doing. Look at this. They've put tables out here. And you'll see these also along the rivers of America where there didn't used to be. Out in front of New Orleans Square, there's tables, and there's tables here as well in front of Tiana's because they're so busy. There's no place for people to sit. They're trying to create more seating area for Tiana's. There you go. Here's the wall and the door set up here at the secret path. But again, it's because of the Mark Twain. She's back there in dock getting worked on, so I'm not worried about it. But that's 100% a result of Tiana's Palace and how busy it is. They put out tables along the river and over here on the front side of Tiana's Bayou Adventure. She's really going to run this place. Tiana is very soon. You know, by the end of the year next year, Tiana. Oh, look, the train! How wonderful! Got to get some WD-40 on that though. Look at that queue for Winnie the Pooh. 20 minutes coming out here all the way outside the barn. But they haven't put it in this extended area right here. So it's probably closer to 10 or 15. I haven't seen Critter Country this busy in quite a while, you know, since they closed Splash Mountain. There's a lot of people back here, you guys. Incredibly so. I wonder how them are doing a U-turn just like those two did. Right now they're like, oh, there's nothing here. Let me turn around and go back out. So as we walk out of Critter Country ourselves, let's talk for a minute about news that broke in between our Disneyland Forward video. Hey, how's it going? The news that came out between our Disneyland Forward video and this, Disney confirmed that they are promising $60 billion for park expansion, capital expenditures as they call it. That means they're going to build stuff. They're going to build new stuff. Not $60 billion, and some of that's going to be for updates. Capital expenses means new business. It's spread across all of the Disney parks worldwide, so that's not just Disneyland or Disney World, but also Shanghai and Disneyland Paris and all that. They didn't go into detail about who's getting what or how much, just that they're promising that money. That's interesting that that you've got this Disneyland Forward thing happening, and you've got this pledge of $60 billion in capital expenditures. But contrast that with this message that they're sending. It's conflicting messaging, really. They act like they're broke. The stock is struggling. They're losing money hand over fist on the movies. You'd think, it sounds like they act like that's the case, that they're broke. But, I mean, they're going to come up with $60 billion somewhere. Is that going to be... Are they borrowing that money? Because I don't think I suppose they could. I don't think they've got $60 billion in the bank. So they're going to have to borrow that money. I struggle with this because I remember Tomorrow saying not long ago that they've got a bunch of money to spend, that they're flush. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they do have that money and they're not borrowing it, because I'd rather they didn't. I'm standing here, by the way, because I'm waiting for this to happen.
Just ahead is the most treacherous part of our journey.
That's all. The only reason why I'm doing this bit right here.
So the scourge of the seas, bloodthirsty pirates. They sometimes lie in wait to attack a passing ship such as ours and steal its bounty. Bowman, man the starboard forecastle cannon and prepare to fire a warning shot. So as any
I don't think the cannon's working
near the shore.
Hey, Captain. So we got some bad news, Captain. We ordered that cannon through Amazon, and so we're just really cool. It's nice. We're audience participating. We're gonna practice. Don't you guys ready? We're gonna count to 3.
They ordered the new cannon from Amazon. It's been a while since that cannon's worked. That was a month or two ago when I rode the Columbia, and it was just boom. Which reminds me, I am in the middle of doing an immense Rise of the Resistance project. I think I talked about this in a previous State of Disneyland report. I'm going to ride Rise of the Resistance 30 times and see what I learned. I've already learned a lot. I've learned, for example, that if you see a queue out here, just go ahead and skip it. This is not a queue you want to get in. I've been in worse, but that's just not a good queue. I mean, obviously, right? But there's a reason why it's like that, and that's something that we'll get into in the video. But there is a lot of nuance to when the right time is to ride Rise and when the wrong time is. And there are definite right and wrong times. This is a wrong time right now. Middle of the day like this, it's just not a good time to be going on Rise of the Resistance. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned. It's going to take me a little while to collect all the data to get the 30 rides in. I can't do it all in one day. What do you guys want to get or guess the standby queue or wait time? I'm going to say 75 minutes. Frame rate won't show you, but that says 85. 75 to 85, and that's almost pure standby. Because if we float over here to the Lightning Lane queue, there's nobody in it. There's nobody in Lightning Lane, although I would be willing to guess that they are selling them today. I was here, as I mentioned, for Rope Drop, and I was checking the tip board earlier, and it looked like they were selling some of the rides. Normally when we do these, which we're about to make our way into Galaxy's Edge and to Ronto Roasters to get a tequila sunrise, or tequila sunrise. The Sweater Tatooine Sunset. We're going to look at the tip board. Normally when we look, the return times are now for Lightning Lane, individual Lightning Lane for Rise of Resistance, but I have a feeling it's going to be an hour or two from now. That is mine right there. That's got my name on it. That was exactly mine. Next test is to see what the seating is like, where I normally do these tip board evaluations here at Docking Bay 7. There's one table left for me. Last time we were here, it was completely empty. Do you guys remember? And on that day, I flipped out. Like, there's no way there should be every table open. But there was, but not today. Cheers, Fresh Baked. Refreshing. All right, let's look at that tip board. Well, right off the bat, I'm already surprised and not surprised. I mean, Alice in Wonderland, 35 minutes. That's a strong performance by Alice. 25 for Astro Orbiter, very strong. Both of those on the higher end of the spectrum. Autopia, 30 minutes with an hour return time. That's the higher end of the range. Big Thunder is closed, but it's return time of an hour from now. I can't make a judgment on that. Buzz Lightyear, that's medium. That's the middle of the range. 25 minutes. Casey Jr., 35. Wow. And that's not a comfortable 35 either. Gadget's Coaster, 25. Doubtful. Dumbo, 25. That's kind of standard. Finding Nemo, 25. Less than standard. I would expect to wait on a busy day. I would expect to wait 45 minutes for Finding Nemo. I would also expect to wait 75 now for Haunted Mansion. When we passed by Haunted Mansion, it was 60. And people are using those lightning lanes for Genie Plus. 5 hours and 25 minutes is your return time. Indiana Jones fell down to 50 from 60. They're also using the heck out of those lightning lanes. You know, it's funny how popular a lightning lane choice that is, Genie Plus. You get so little benefit. Although I guess when it's super busy like it is now, you do, I mean, you're saving about 20 minutes in that outdoor queue. Maybe 20, 25 minutes. Look at that, Small World. 30 minutes. Every time I turn this thing on for the past few months, it's been 5. And it's not even Lightning Lane that's doing it, because the Lightning Lane return time, Genie Plus, is now. Jungle Cruise has reopened at 45. That's high end. Mad Tea Party 10. We'll look at that on our way through Fantasyland. Winnie the Pooh is still at 20. Surprisingly low. I don't understand. Guys, why is the Genie Plus return time just 45 minutes for the Matterhorn, but 6 hours for Indiana Jones? You save significantly more time using a Genie Plus for Matterhorn than you do for Indiana Jones. That's surprising, that it's 40 minutes and that it's only 45 minutes return time. That is really surprising. Low. I would have expected that to be closer to an hour. Runaway Railway is 75. We'll check in on that as well. That's on our path out of here. Look at that, Mickey's House, 45 minutes meet and greet. Look at Millennium Falcon, 80 minutes. Do you know how much standing there is in the Millennium Falcon for an 80-minute queue? That is a lot of just standing around. Toads is closed, that's too bad. Peter Pan 2. Pinocchio 20. Pirates is closed, but it was pretty busy when we walked by. Surprised to see Roger Rabbit's at just 50. Or I should say, I'm sorry, just 2 hours from now. 50 is pretty decent for Roger Rabbit, although that airs high. I tested that twice last week doing a tour. I did a complete tour of Toontown for another channel. And it was posted at 50, but it took me about 15. 15. Remind me to get back to that. I want to talk about that after I'm done with this. Don't forget, Star Tours, 35 minutes. Rise is 65. Okay, so I thought it might be 2 hours for the return time for individual Lightning Lane, but it's just 30. But the fact that it's anything at all is still a change from the past. Before we get back into the show, stop in real quick. The Doc Ondars. This is one of the places that I like to test these days about crowd levels inside a gift shop. Kind of chill in here, actually. Kind of chill. I don't remember if I covered this in a video, but they recently had a huge sale. They still are having a huge sale. I just checked the glass. Hey, how are you? You can't see it from here yet. But yeah, 30% off all of them. Every single one of these is 30%. There it is.
Hi, baby. Which one is 30%? This one is 30%.
All of them. Except for the...
There you go. She just confirmed it. All of them. %. You don't see that, or you didn't. Lightsabers are one of the more consistent selling pieces of merch. They draw big crowds. Every time they come out with a new lightsaber, it's always a big deal. So to see them at 30% off across the board, it's kind of surprising. So we saw 80 minutes for Smugglers Run, and that is what it's saying right now, posted here outside the attraction. 80 minutes. We will often study this attraction to see how the lightning lane reacts compared to standby. And we could stand here for, 10 minutes and not see a single person walk through standby and see a bunch of people go through. It's as if only lightning lane guests ride this ride, man. I mean, why does it always seem that way? There's some single riders to the left. That's a great option. But nobody goes. That's why it's, I don't know, man. Because it's like everybody getting in there is lightning lane. That's why it's 80 minutes. Look at that. See that? They all kind of, it looked like they might go left, right at one point, but they all went left. How long can I stay here and look at this? And it's not individual lightning lane either. It's just regular Genie Plus. So they're getting the whole kit. I just want to see one person get in standby. So close, so close. I don't think it's going to happen, you guys. I don't think it's going to. I don't think if I have the patience to sit here and wait for just even one standby guest. So far, we've been filming this for about 2 minutes. We've been standing here for about 2 or 3 minutes. Left. I just don't think I can do it. It ain't gonna happen. I can stand there all day. I may never see one. Every single person going through there. That wasn't like a huge sample, but I mean, still, out of however many that sample was, it was 0. The number was 0. I'm gonna give it one more try. I turned around. I'm like, I left too soon. I'm gonna give it one more try. But how many has it been? 30? 30 guests that we've seen go through? Okay, I mentioned wait times, standby wait times, and how, what was it? Roger Rabbit, Cartoon Spin, posted at 50. We tested it twice on the same day, about an hour, maybe 2 hours apart. Both times, actual wait time was 15 minutes. I think this is a phenomenon that I want to get back to. I recently, or I shouldn't say recently, a while back, I did a video where I proclaimed that I don't think that Disney is intentionally fudging higher wait times in order to stimulate sales of Genie Plus. And I've repeated that over the years since then. But one of the things that has come to my consciousness more often recently is the fact that when I notice that an attraction wait time is too low, that it's posted at 15, but it was actually 30, more often than not, it's on an attraction that doesn't have Genie Plus, that it's a non-lightning lane attraction. How often does that happen when it's a lightning lane attraction? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that. But the Roger Rabbit situation has made me want to reconsider that theory, that phenomenon. So I'm going to be probably doing some more recon on that. I got the Rise recon that I'm working on. By the way, so far, all of my reps have been under the posted wait time. I've done, I think 5 or 6 reps, and each one was less than the posted wait time. Although some of those were, one of them was a rope drop, and I mean, that doesn't even count. But I have a feeling that there may be something to that. Let's go to Fantasyland. I mean, I've seen worse. I think the last time we came through here, this was wide open, completely wide open. But again, that was in the middle of August, during the point in the summer when they were just so incredibly slow and not busy when it should be. This feels familiar. All right, well, Pinocchio doesn't look too bad. I don't see anybody in the extended part of the queue. It's just sticking at the door. That's actually kind of light compared to how the rest of the park is. Snow White. Okay, now we're talking. And by the way, I just had a difficult time getting from Pinocchio to Snow White. That says 20 minutes on the board. That's a good sized wait for Snow White. And obviously, Peter Pan is brutal, as always. That's minimum 40 right there that we're looking at. It's even poking out. Oh boy. That. They got to do something about that. Because they've got some unused queue up here. You need to get a cast member on this situation. You get a cast member. Fill in those gaps. 40 minutes. Easy. Mr. Toads is back up. It was down when we were looking at the tip board. There's never a bad time to get on. I don't care what Toads looks like. It's never a bad time. I'm fine with that. I would not get in that Dumbo queue, right? So I was going to say Mr. Dumbo. I would not get in that Dumbo queue. If you can see the back of the queue on the left side, like I can now, you're toast. That's not an enjoyable queue to wait in. Because this is one of those that takes forever to get guests on and off, so you just stand there. It's one thing to be in a long queue, but at least you're kind of constantly moving. But the ones where you just kind of have to stand there and you wait for them to load up all these elephants, you're just going to stand there. If you see that out there, back there, don't even get in that queue. Okay, there's something you don't see very often, or haven't seen in a while. An extended queue for teacups. So, I mean, more often than not, yeah, we're seeing upper end of the scale here. Monorail, thank you. Right on cue, sir. Hey, Toontown is next, and I'm going to try not to go off on too much of a rant here. Save some of this for the construction report that we'll be doing on Monday. But you probably have already seen in our last construction report that new walls are up. Toontown, man, I'm telling you. New construction walls are up, this time to repair the fountain itself and the area around the fountain. And yeah, Toontown is it's not behaving the way a land should. Not a newly remodeled land should. It really is just, there's something wrong. Something very, very wrong in Toontown. And that's something that I think we're going to get into in more detail, like I mentioned in the next construction video. But it shouldn't be like this. It just shouldn't be like this. And I don't think we've seen the end of it either. I think there's more. You know, they said that the Donald's boat was going to be back. They closed that in spring. We're near fall now. They closed Donald's boat shortly after the land opened. And they said it's going to be back for summer. We are now mid-September, late September, about to hit October. And I don't think they're going to open it. I don't see this on the horizon anytime soon. 30 minutes for Chippendale's Gadget Coaster. Back of the queue right here at Chippendale. That's a solid 30 minutes for sure. I found myself doing a lot of bobbing and weaving, trying to stay out of people's way here. This right here, they've already replaced this once. Same thing over at, look at that, there's a big lump right here. It's not showing up in the camera, but I just walked over a giant lump in that turf. They replaced the turf on the other side over there too, in front of Roger Rabbit's. That can't be good, giant lumps in the turf like that. Is it supposed to be like that? I don't know. You had every opportunity to level the grade there. You know what I mean? Like, why? Why can't you make a level grade there? I mean, they tore it up. It was right there, man. All right, Runaway Railway. Hey, how are you? It's not peeking out. That's good. Posted at 30. There you go. I've said before, and I'll say it again. The door is 40. If you see the back of the queue at the door, it's 40. Anything inside the queue or inside the door is less, obviously. I'm just going to sneak in here real quick because there's nobody here. And it's not even 30. I can't even see the back of the queue. Hey guys, how are you? So you're looking more like 15 or 20. Which again is curious given how busy it is in the park. Why is Runaway Railway not crushing right now? Guys, look at Roger Rabbit. It's posted 50, which could be the case, but there's no lightning lane. Well, I guess there is, yeah. That's the back of the lightning lane queue right there. So there's some lightning lane. They're going to get all the priority, but you know, I'm tempted to go in there and try it again because the last time, we were just talking about this. The last 2 times I went in there, I had a 50-minute standby and it was 15. This calls for some serious recon. This calls for some serious studying, data, spreadsheets, algorithms, mathematical equations. What is the truth? We got to get to the truth of this. Get to the truth of Genie Plus and Standby. People need to know. I'm the guy. I'm the guy to do it. All right, I've escaped Toontown back out into Fantasyland. Fantasyland B, we saw a 30-minute standby on the tip board a little bit ago. That was about 30 minutes ago. It's now 20 minutes. It's still not a bad wait. I mean, dude, 20 minutes is nothing at Disneyland. And it looks like it's moving pretty briskly. There's not a lot of lightning lane happening right here. People don't use lightning lane for Small World. They just don't. And when they do, it's a momentary blip, and then standby gets moving again. I've done the math for you guys back here. I think we've talked about it before. It's about 5 minutes per switchback, and that's up and back. So I see 2 up and backs there. So that's looking like 10 minutes in that section. 10 minutes there and maybe another 5 elsewhere. So no big deal. Underrated attraction, that Small World. Don't sleep on Small World. Classic, perfect Disney attraction. Thank goodness the monorail's back, right? I have missed that attraction. All right, we're winding down a little bit. We saw an incredibly low, 40-minute wait for Matterhorn, given what we know about Matterhorn, because Matterhorn has been pulling numbers of late. That was one of those attractions that stayed really busy even when the rest of Disneyland wasn't. Now today, Disneyland as a whole is busy, but still Matterhorn is posting a 40-minute standby. And there's very few people in the lightning lane queue. That's so interesting. Guys, what is that? What is that? How is it that everybody is in the lightning lane queue for Smugglers Run and there's nobody in it for Matterhorn? And it's not even a small, every single time. Every time. Not every time is the Matterhorn queue short like that, but every time I go to Millennium Falcon, we'll do it again. I'll just post a camera there for 20 minutes and see what happens. In the meantime, this is actually kind of beefy. Makes me wonder how accurate that 40 minutes is, unless it's very accurate that there's people aren't using lightning lane, which, I mean, the data says they're not. That's pretty healthy for Nemo. We saw a light queue on the tip board for Nemo. But when you see it out here in this extended park, that's pretty strong. They're not using all of it back on the other side over there, but I mean, that ain't 30. Yeah, the board has been updated to say, it says 20 now. What in the world is happening? I thought it said 40. That says 20. Yeah, if you're hopping on the EIC, maybe. I don't know, I'm trying to do it. There's no way that's 20. Now, notice, that's one of those cases that I've been like, not a Lightning Lane attraction, so they post that low. Is that a thing? It's posted at 20. What is the thinking there? If they're doing that intentionally, what is the thinking? They're trying to pull people out of the Genie Plus attractions, maybe? I don't know. But I would like to look at the metrics on that somehow. I got to figure out a way to do that. Meanwhile, Autopia, 30 minutes. This is a standby attraction. I mean, a Genie Plus attraction. It's posted at 30. The queue does not look anything like 30, if I'm being honest. That's the back of the queue right there. Normally, you see guests, waiting or accumulating up there. That's actually, and that's after the mix point. So you're not even subject to Genie Plus influence there. I mean, I could sit here and wait, and we'll see that the back of that queue hits those cars in about 5 or 10 minutes, maybe. Well, I did just that. I waited here to see how long it took for the back of the queue to hit the vehicle. I said between 5 and 10 minutes. The back of the queue hit its bride vehicle just now in 5 minutes. And since then, there hasn't been a lot of growth. There's just a few accumulated standby guests up there. If anything, the queue has gone down a little bit. Interesting. I wonder if they have adjusted the wait time board. What do you want to bet they have? Adjusted down to 15. I'm the boss, man. I am the boss. And I'm not even cheating, you guys. That's honest to goodness. So when I show you that Rise of the Resistance video in the near future, be sure to watch. And be sure to watch whatever it is I come up with when I do an analysis of standby posted versus actual Lightning Lane versus not Lightning Lane. You're gonna get straight facts. Look at that, Space Mountain is closed, and this is something that I was not expecting to see. Stay tuned for the next construction video for more discussion on this. But exterior stuff. What are they doing? I'm gonna have to try to put my ear to the ground, see if I can't figure that out, but I can see scaffolding. Well, there's scaffolding everywhere, but I can see scaffolding. That's mean crews are working on the exteriors. That's fascinating. Up there even? Not on the mountain itself. The mountain itself is not under scrim or scaffold. And I don't know if they're doing anything to the actual track. I'm hoping that they repair the blue lights. Imagine if they closed Space Mountain for more than a month and they didn't fix the blue light tunnel. Hi. I gotta think they will, though. I gotta think they will. How could you not? All right, Astro Blasters doesn't look too bad from here. It says 30 minutes. Not a lot of folks in Lightning Lane right now. Pretty standard standby queue. This is par. Wow. What's going on with Star Tours? 50 minutes. This is one of those that I would like to watch. There's nobody in Lightning Lane. I don't understand, you guys. It's all standby. Good for you, Star Tours. And good for you, Astro Orbiter, doing 30 minutes here. I'd rather go on Astro Orbiter than Star Tours. But I'm an oldie, you know what I mean? I'm an old fart. Okay, home stretch. Say hi to Walt and Mickey. Thank you guys for your contributions to this earth. We're so grateful. So very, very grateful. I'm grateful to Walt for providing a horseless carriage in yellow and red. I do love a good horseless carriage that can reach top speeds of 8 miles an hour. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at that standby queue for Big Thunder. Spot on. It's still not as bad as it looks. I've done that queue a couple times. It's not so bad. I remember it being posted at 60, it wound up being like 40, 45. Big Thunder's posted at 50. That's probably accurate. Although, again, Lightning Lane. So are they just buying Lightning Lane to go on Millennium Falcon? Is that it? I just can't. I just can't. There's nobody in the Big Thunder Lightning Lane queue. I mean, I've seen it, you know, the Lightning Lane come out here all the way up the hill a little bit, but not much here. Not much going on here. Hi guys. Standby looks to be moving at a brisk pace. That's a good sign. So that 50 is probably high. Yup. And that's our show, guys. That's our State of Disneyland report. I hope you enjoyed. I would say hey guys. All in all, we're about maybe 80-85% of my expectation was met today in terms of crowds and things like that. There were a few surprises, some real surprises, but in general, the park is still pretty busy, relatively speaking. I'm still not convinced we've reached anything close to 2018, 2019 levels of crowds. They're as busy as Disney is letting it be because look at the calendar, that they're blocking people out. So interesting. I didn't get to mention this before, but you can't get a single day ticket today either. Single day tickets are booked out today. Pretty busy, but still not all the way there. Stay tuned for more Fresh Baked. Stay tuned for Rise of Resistance recon video. Stay tuned. Still working on a couple other projects that are occupying a lot of my time. And then follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, on Twitter at FreshBakedDisney, that's Fresh with no E, and on TikTok at FreshBakedDisney. If you like our show and want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/FreshBaked. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked. There's that horseless carriage again.